let it roll.
We are very excited this evening and would like to take this time to acknowledge traditional owners and ancestors of these tribal lands, Okapoge Owinge, also known as Santa Fe. We reside and thank you all for blessing us with your presence this evening. We honor the communities who ground us and the ancestors whose vision continues to move us forward. And we are so excited this evening. This is a very special night. A very precious elder by the name of Kat Nelson from the Penobscot Nation on the island of Maine is with us tonight. Kat is a very versatile, artistic woman that was born into a very prominent Indigenous family, and she has also Scottish roots on her mother's side, so maybe we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Guided by her elders, Kat and her people learned from the elders, learned from their ancestors. They were the first contacted by the French before the British. We'll talk about that too. Kat does a whole variety of art. We'll talk about that too. I'm wearing some of it. And so without much ado, I just want to say thank you, Kat, for joining us this evening. And let's get started by saying hello, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself before we go into the questions.
Hello, I'm Kat Nelson. I'm an elder in the Penobscot tribe. It's an island in the Penobscot River in the middle of Maine. And the roots going back to the island are almost forever because a lot of the native people would winter here and go out to the coast during the summer. It was a matrilineal tribe, mainly because the men had so much to do cutting wood for the winter, 15, 20 cord by hatchet or however they did it, I'm not sure, but that's a lot of wood. And of course the hunting. And of course the ladies put up all of the food and dried and also managed the tribe because the men were always so busy. I don't know what else to say right this second.
Well, I'd like to know about you. So you were born, and then what happened? Just the beginning part.
Well, I was born, my mother was tuberculous, so in that age, back in the 50s, they were all corralled into sanitariums. I spent my 9 months with my mom in her belly at the sanatorium, and then she was transferred to a contagious hospital, and she gave birth. She left, and I stayed there for 3 weeks before the decision of where I would go. Gratefully, my mother's sister quit her job at the phone company and took me in. And wasn't I lucky, because I had a nice aunt and uncle and a nice neighborhood to grow up in. Very loving.
That's beautiful. So this was off the reservation or on the reservation?
Nope, this was off the reservation. I was like what they would call a 2-week vacation girl on the reservation because, you pretty much you are what your mother is. And my father and mother moved down to Massachusetts for economical and social reasons. My father was a hand sewer, and at that time it was considered it was considered a trade that no one else knew. It was something that was, I'm lost for a word.
Specialized.
Yeah, it was specialized, and he went to work in the shoe factories, and on doing that, he used to hide behind a sheet so that he could carry on his trade so that no one else would learn how to hand sew. The one nice thing my father did, though, in his bringing up in the shoe factories was that he did take in a deaf person. He was a deaf mute person, and he wanted to get married and didn't have a trade. So my father taught him how to hand sew.
Oh.
And The man ended up marrying and having 2 children and was very happy.
Was he native?
No, he was not.
Oh, okay. That's
Right.
so cool. Thank you so much for sharing that, Kat. That's a
Yeah.
beautiful memory of your father. Um, Gosh. So, what about your mother? Tell us about your mom.
Well, my mother's a little Scottish woman, not very far from the reservation, up the river some. And her father worked in and owned a hardware store, and there was a whole group of them, the McKays, and her uncles and cousins were doctors and all sorts of different types of people. My mother did graduate from a business college here in Bangor and ended up being working in the bank for many years.
And how did she meet your father?
She met my father up here. They used to have tent dances, and they'd put up this huge tent, and bands would come in, and people from all over the state, probably within 50 miles or more, and they would all meet up on Saturday night for the big Saturday night dance. And my mother was cute, my father was handsome, and they both danced well.
So, what kind of
And
music did they play?
oh, they played the music, big band music,
Oh,
Glenn Miller, that type of music. It was a real dance hall, but it was in a
wow.
tent, and it moved around.
So that was before the beatniks. Of course, if anybody doesn't know what the beatniks are, maybe you can tell us about the beatniks, Kat.
Oh well, the beatniks were people that came in, long hair, poetry, coffee shops, artists, painters. My father ended up opening a shop down in Bearskin Neck in Massachusetts. And he made the moccasins, and my grandmother supplied the baskets. And
Oh,
that was the first tribal member in Massachusetts with an Indian store on the coast.
oh my
And that
goodness
was in the
gracious.
that was in the 50s, so I spent some pretty interesting years in a place
Wow.
called Rockport, Mass.
And now you have an art space that you sell your wares as well, right?
I've been doing a couple of shows a year. I'm not as young as I would have been. I would have probably been more ambitious and put myself out there more. But I'm elderly, and I've learned to teach myself how to do sweetgrass. And I had 2 mentors for that. Charlene was the one that showed me how to do the sweetgrass. And Barbara Francis taught me how to sell, pushed me into different places to do shows and sell my wares with her. She's a master basket weaver, and she learned some things from my grandmother. So she ties in strongly with my family.
Oh, that's so
And
beautiful.
she was the first Penobscot to go west of the Mississippi at Indian Market, and sold her baskets and won first prize at the very first show that she was
Wow.
in.
That's that's pretty cool because Indian Market's been here for in Santa Fe for quite a long time, and it's a prestigious art market, world art market that people with no money and lots of money come to. And there's the Southwest American Indian Arts called SWAIA, SWAIA. And since your time in Santa Fe, Cat, there's a second Indian market called Free Indian Market that a guy put together for elders first to come
Mm-hmm.
in for free right there at the federal building on
Cool.
Washington across from the Scottish Rite Temple, that little park there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're native with the CIB, you can come in and set up your little pop-up tent and your table and sell your art and not pay a dime. Can you believe
Wow,
that?
that's nice.
Yeah,
I
I
have
think
a
they got about
cousin.
600 booths in.
I have a cousin that still sells at Indian Market. Her name is Teresa Teresa Secord.
Hmm.
No, yeah,
Beautiful.
I think that's it. No, it's Teresa Hoffman. I'm sorry, I got her mixed up with my other cousin. They both do
Big
baskets.
big family. I want to talk about your family. I read a book about an auntie of yours that was a dancer, and she went overseas. Didn't she like? Was she like part of the vaudeville Indian show? She got a job in Oklahoma with that big setup
Well,
there, and then went to Europe. Can you talk a little bit about her? Because I read her book; it was fascinating.
her name was Molly Dell Nelson. She went by the name of Spotted Elk, and she danced Broadway, the Rainbow Room in New York. In fact, all four sisters did that, or three of them. The three oldest daughters danced, and she became more involved in it so that she was a much better dancer, I should say. And at the World Fair in Paris in the 30s, I think it was, they had a World Fair, and Roosevelt put together an all Indian band. So my uncle, who married into the family, was the conductor, and he played the saxophone, clarinet, and piano, and my aunt danced. And she ended up staying in Paris, married a journalist, and he died in the resistance. And then she went on to march from Paris to Portugal, and then re-entered this country as a refugee.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's massive and that's major. And can you pull up a picture of your grandfather if you have one handy?
Yeah. Let me. Hmm.
Oh, that's okay, Kat. It's we don't have a lot
Okay.
of time. I thought if you had
Right.
it like right there, you could just go, "Hey, there's my grandpa," but that's okay.
No, I don't have it
Um,
right there.
okay, so what is your people best known for? Because you're super artistic and you live in rough country. I mean, winters are no joke in Maine, right?
Right. Well, they were not anymore with the climate change. They're noted for their canoes mostly. A lot of designs. A lot of people still sell the Old Town canoe,
That
and
was
that was
500 years ago. 500 years ago.
uh sure, but right up until now, they still make canoes. They've done a couple of decorative ones to raffle off and things of that sort. They're also known for their basket making, and the ladies actually supported their families by making baskets. And they would use the brown ash tree, and they knew what trees to cut, and the men would go in and pound off, and it would separate into rings and work from there. It's pretty
Wow.
interesting. It's very long, painstaking to start from the tree to the basket made. They'd use vegetable dyes and things to make decorative things, and they would braid sweetgrass and weave the grass in the baskets themselves.
Wow. And your people are still doing that today, the young
Oh, yes,
generation.
yes, very much so.
And the middle and the elders. I mean, obviously you're
The,
still doing
all the young
art.
people, a lot of young people, and 20 years younger than I am, there's a lot of, just a lot of different types of people that make the baskets, and each one has their own designs and their own techniques. And they don't really share very much because it's an Indian way for us.
Yeah.
And I
Cultural
don't understand
appropriation.
that. Yeah,
It's cultural appropriation. It's rampant. It always
yes,
has been. It always has
yes,
been.
right. My secrets.
There you go. Yeah. And yeah, I think that keeps everything genuine, I guess, right?
Yeah, it does, I think.
Okay.
Oh,
So
may
tell
I?
us about, go ahead.
I was just going to put in that my aunt Molly, who was the dancer, she also was in a film featured called The Silent Enemy. And that was one of the last silent films made before the talkies came out. It wasn't a success in the market because of the talkies, but it's used now to teach filmmakers how to make films and things of that sort, because they went up into Canada and spent a year filming. So and everything is authentic. Everyone was native, and they told the story. And hunger was the enemy.
Wow. So there was actually an all native cast. Of course,
Yes,
probably the writer and the director was Paramount or
we're well,
MGM.
right,
Something.
Paramount, I think.
Yeah.
And
So
yes,
that's a.
they were.
And your aunt was in that movie?
My aunt was the leading lady.
Wow. I want to watch that tonight. Yeah. So, okay, everybody. Silent Hunger.
No, it's Silent Enemy.
Silent Enemy. Okay, Silent Enemy, everyone. We can all just Google it and we can all watch it and see Kat's aunt. That's great. Thank you, Kat, for adding that into this conversation. So now let's talk about you. So you grew up kind of biracial,
Yes.
the Scottish world and all the mainstream contacts that came to this country as immigrants. And then you went to your nation and got with your people, and you had your grandparents still alive, hopefully. You met them?
I met them, yeah. I did.
Okay.
I knew my grandmother more. My grandfather was very old and very much into the language and didn't speak English a lot. And he had so many grandchildren running around, he didn't even know who I was.
Well, that's what Indians do. They like
Right.
to procreate as much as possible because of obvious. We won't go into that, but you know. So you grew up, and then what? You
Well, I went to an Irish Catholic school, which was torturous. And upon graduation, I had a series of tragedies, and I ended up going to Europe and hooked up with this John Thompson, who was a sea captain, and we ended up doing a delivery job on a boat. And we sailed out of St. Thomas and went through Panama, through the Las Perlas, Galapagos, out to the Marquesas, and then on up to Hawaii and over to Vancouver Island, and then into the city, Vancouver City.
how
And
long did that last?
that was about 18 months or more, maybe another month or more. The longest journey was 59 days, which I enjoyed incredibly. It's one with nature. I My time was spent cooking because we always ate well at sea. And we only slept 3.5 hours because we did watches 24 hours, 4 on and 4 off. I also practiced my macrame, which was something that I could do on the boat. And so I made curtains, and then in other ports, I also did the masts that went into the cabin, and traded for dental work and physicals and all sorts of things. So I was very lucky in the sense that they liked my work and that I was able to do that and still
So
keep my health.
so when you went onto these like islands and stuff, did you meet like traditional indigenous peoples, and did they
Oh, I
take you
did.
in?
I spent a lot of time with the Kunas, which is in the Caribbean side of Panama. And they're a multiple husband uh, group
Oh,
of people. Well,
oh,
they're so poor that in order to buy a wife, they have to pool their money. So one stays, and then the rest would go out and go to the mainland to work. And they gardened on the mainland, but they lived on the islands. And
wow.
they were very interested because they knew that I wasn't white, and they wanted to know where I was from, and they had to touch me. And it was very enchanting personally. There was one lady that would interpret it. And when I went to the Marquesas, the same thing happened there, that the ladies also realized that I wasn't white and that I was indigenous someplace. And so they brought me into their morning group. They'd sit around in a circle, and they would gossip and trade secrets and recipes, and one lady would translate for me. And I also introduced dental floss because the mangoes there are the rough kind, and so you had lots of hairs, and so I showed them how to dental floss, and they really enjoyed that.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Kat. You should have become a writer. Can you imagine the stories that you could have done nowadays on platforms like a Netflix series or something? A ride with Kat Nelson on the boat, Wouldn't that be great? Because I know you read a lot of books. At least you used to, right?
I still do. My eyes aren't as what they used to be. I have glaucoma, and it just makes it hard sometimes. They get tired easy.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
Well,
that's that.
nowadays
And
it's okay. Go ahead.
so then I take my time out to use my eyes to make things rather than read.
Okay. So it sounds like you're really accommodating yourself and adjusting as an indigenous elder would on the island to make the best out of being a wise elder. Which what does your tribe do for you? Do they take care of you? Do they bring you wood? Do they bring you moose? What kind of hunting do you all do, and what kind of meat do you eat up there in
Well,
Maine?
they hunt for venison, and they hunt for moose. Moose was one of our main animals. We used the hides, the fur, and like everything else, we used everything that was there, rendering down grease and all sorts of different things. They also hunted bear, but not a lot. And they hunted, like I said, the venison, the deer, and they also ate beaver and muskrats and every other thing.
What about from the water? Did you have to have like eel and shrimp and all that kind of good stuff?
Oh, yeah. In the summertime, they'd go out to the coast and they would sit there, they would set up camp at the end of the Penobscot, which falls into Camden Bay. It's actually Penobscot Bay, but the city there is Camden now. And they would live there for the summer, and they'd be fishing and salting fish and doing all sorts of things of that to survive the winter. And then they'd come back inland so that they could hunt the animals. And a lot of the Penobscots have always come over here to the island. Um, of course, in the olden days, like my father's time, they put sawdust down over the ice, and they used to call it the Sawdust Road because the sawdust would insulate the ice so that they could walk from the island over to the mainland easier rather than
Wow.
walking across ice and stuff.
Wow.
And there
That
was
is
lots of
so.
people that didn't quite make it all the time, but
Oh
it worked.
no.
It
Oh.
worked. We
Okay.
received a bridge finally in 1953. It was condemned, but it worked well for us for about 20 years.
So, so before the bridge, it was you on the island, your people rather, because you were not there all the time, and they had to go by boat, and
Yeah,
they
they
built their
were.
own boats.
Yes, well, the
That
big
is so
joke
industrious. That was their cars back then.
the joke in my family was is that my father taught my mother how to paddle a boat, and she just thought she was the cat's meow, and he'd just be sitting back, letting her do all the work.
It's a really good workout too. I mean, it's you can go into a gym and sit on those things and pretend like you're doing a rowing thing. I mean, it's one of the best machines to get on just for core strength training, back
Sure.
training, especially for elders. It's a really good workout machine. So if you can't get on a boat, just get in the gym and sit down, do one of them things. Yeah, that's great. Gosh, there's so much I want to ask you. You're just such a woman with so much wealth and culture and history and beauty and glamour. You're just glamorous. I just love your hair. It's nice and bobbed. So cool. So, what got you to Santa Fe to the Institute of American Indian Arts? How did you find out, and what was your dream?
Well, I found out from there were two Tims that went to school there for sculpturing, And the word got back to the rest of the tribe. And I was in a sort of abusive relationship and decided that I had had enough and that I was going to go forth and treat myself to school. At that time, it was a BIA school, which supplied everything, and the tuition was free.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the following year, it became a private college, which was a huge transition because all of a sudden now you had to supply your own supplies. So I put together a show along with the College of Santa Fe. At the time, they had what they called an elder hostel group that would come in and they would teach them different things over there. But on Wednesday nights, they'd come over to the IA. And I put together a group of artists that would get up, say their name, tell, a little bit about themselves and their art and what tribe they were from. And some even danced. So it was quite entertaining. And then after all of that, they were able to sell their wares. But they couldn't sell them unless they talked, which was good for them.
There you go. Yeah. Gosh, that was before all this world of iPhones, which nobody goes anywhere without anymore, which to me, I was one of the last resisting people. And when I finally succumbed, I got addicted too. So I'm sitting here with the phone. But before this, that was good practice for them to get up and hone in their speech skills, to talk about their art and not stutter and that's just a habit, the way we talk. But when you get in front of people, you learn how to not do that, so you can just get right to the point and talk about your culture and sell. That's great, Kat. That's wonderful that you did that. What did you get into when you got to IA, since art's such a big deal?
Well, I did very well in photography. I really liked it. I liked the black and white film better than I did color. I also did pottery. I wanted to do fiber arts. That was my passion at the time. But the teacher was too scattered for me, and I couldn't never get her to sit down and explain something at one time without being interrupted by other people. Mm. And so I went into silver, and silver seemed like it was an easy art form. I could travel with it because all it took was a tank and some silver and whatever designs and stuff you did with it. Wow. Which could have been done. I did it I camped in Tasuki at Camel Rock, and I had a second tent devoted to silver making, in which I worked all summer long inside of a tent and sold my wares.
That's amazing. Yes, that's amazing. So you got back so you left IA.
I left IA and I went out to California. Mm-hmm. I was hoping, I had set myself up with a glazing class because I didn't quite understand it. You paint something on green and then it turns purple. The chemicals and, the firing and all of that. But I had an accident. It was a catastrophic one. I broke my back in a couple of places, and that changed my life. I am missing the front part of a vertebrae, and so with the weight of my head and shoulders, I have a kyphosis, which means I bend over. So it was really hard to work out in front of me, so I changed my art to something else. And then just worked at it until I've developed what I have done now.
And that's this kind of stuff, right?
That kind of stuff, and let me show you this. Oh boy.
I know, good catch. It's a basket. It wouldn't have broke, I don't think.
This is
Can you lift it up a little bit so we can see it?
This is a barrette that I made from sweetgrass and turquoise.
Ooh, beautiful. Well, I'd like to
And
get one of those.
what I have it right here, this is the book of my aunt,
Yeah,
Molly Spotted Elk.
yeah. Is there some pictures in there of your grandparents or great grandparents?
Um, there is. Uh,
I've always been into elders. I've since I was a baby, I've been fascinated with elders. That's just all I wanted to be around was just wise people that could
here's
teach
here's a
good
pic.
stuff.
Here's a picture of the island before the bridge was built.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty wild.
It
And
is.
you remember that. Or do you no, you would have been just a
No, I don't.
baby.
The bridge came when I was 3.
Yeah, okay, 53 cuz you were
And this
born in
is a picture
1950.
of Molly. Oh, no, this is a picture of my grandmother. She was a master basket maker.
Boy, you guys were uptown, weren't you?
Yeah.
I don't want to say compared to the Navajos because we were the last hit, so there's still a lot of super traditional stuff going on where I come from and ceremonies and language, and I'm sure there's that at your island too. But you
Right. My
to your 1500, ours is probably maybe late 1700s. I don't know. My mom's here. Mom, when did the first contact come to the res? Might have been the 1800s. Really?
Well, see, in the middle of the 1800s, my grandfather, great grandfather, was a railroad station master. And the Trail of Tears hadn't even gone by. So that's the
Wow.
difference from the east to the west.
Whoa.
And that's a lot of responsibility when you think about it.
So he was wearing one of them big old Abraham Lincoln hats and nice
Yes, he did.
adorned professional wear compared to some of
You're
the other
right.
guys in the Southwest.
Well, in their portraits, he has the hat on, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, gosh,
Yeah.
Kat, you come from an amazing family. Um, so when you got back onto your reservation, how does it feel to be back, landing back where your ancestors come from, where your father was born and bred? I mean, how does it feel to be back with the spirits of your people? You're really sitting on the backs of your ancestors right now, literally. How does it feel?
Well, not being brought up here, I was an outcast. Um, you don't know anyone. I mean, they all knew me, but I didn't have any contact with them until I moved up here. And I was in my 60s when I did that.
Good for
Uh,
you.
Bought a house. I have a couple of really good friends, and they're really good artists, so I know who to hang out with. And
Yeah.
I spent my whole life just collecting things so that I could spend my elder years making things. So I wouldn't be bored, and I'm not.
So do you get to just go out into your backyard and grab stuff and come in and make stuff? Because I know that's the kind of artist you are. So I tell people, put Cat in any forest, on any desert ground, in any canyon, and this woman will make art. So do you have art that you can, like the sweetgrass, you can pick yourself?
The sweetgrass, usually we buy from Canada because they clean it really well, and they have the very long, long blades of grass. But yes, I have gone sweetgrass picking. I do a lot of walking on the island, so I made a bunch of stone face people with feathers and fur for hair and acorns for eyes and all sorts of different little things.
Oh, I just, I really missed that download. I mean, you can ask my mom and my sister and my grandmother in the spirit world. Everybody was sand painting and making baskets and making pottery and weaving rugs. And I was climbing trees, man. I just didn't get that artistic download at all. So
Well,
I'm very envious of you.
not the artistic, but I mean, look at yourself. You're a linguist. You're a player. You're a signer. You're a miscommunicator.
Oh, well,
Communicator.
communication's always been important to me, but I'll tell you what, I really admire people like my grandmother who knew how to communicate with animals on the mountain. If she was approached by a mountain lion she would talk to the mountain lion in Navajo and not get attacked, and even talk the mountain lion out of slaughtering her sheep. Although
Right.
she did get plenty of sheep slaughtered, but there's bears, there's cougars, there's mountain lions. I mean, for real, right still. I mean, on Black Mountain today, still dirt road, still no running water. It's still the way it was back when you knew, and but she knew how to talk to animals, and she knew how to hear a certain yell from I think it was a rooster, and she'd know there's a rattlesnake on the sheep camp to put the kids away. She was always with grandkids, including me.
Right.
So ultimately, we got exposed to the Navajo language, because if you didn't speak it, you were just out of luck on the mountain, you know. And when you get put up there, you learn it. So that's what I really appreciate, is people that can communicate with animals. I have another friend on the res. Her name's Arletta. You met her, my deaf friend that
Yes.
taught me sign language when I was 11. She knows how to communicate with animals in sign language. They get it. She knows how to break horses, and she has very different non-westernized way of doing it. You know, she just has her own way of doing it, and she'll tell you and she'll show you, but you got to go to her land to learn.
Right.
She has
Right.
horses for neighbors. They just hang out on her property. Pretty cool. Arletta's doing great, Kat.
Oh, good. I was just
I hope-
going to ask you how she was.
Yeah, I hope you get to reconnect with her someday. Yeah,
Yeah.
she'd love to see you again. So, where can we find your artwork?
Well, come to Maine.
Easy. Okay, be there tomorrow.
Yes. There is a site. It's Penobi, PENOBI.com. And if you go into brown ash baskets, there's some of my work there. I'm very shy about it. It's taken me a long time to be able to go to a show and sell it. And now that I'm getting too elderly, I keep it, and I sell at the University of Maine. They have a show at Christmas time connected with the Hudson Museum. And I do a show down in Bar Harbor with the Abbey Museum. So I've been lucky to been accepted by both, because it's sort of a jury thing that you have to, send in your work and have it appraised.
You're the real deal. I mean, come on, look at this. Let me just tell you guys, this is Kat's work, and it's so well done. I've worn it for over 15 years. And the back is her, what do you call it, macrame?
No, it's felting.
Felting. So this is her Scottish roots, this is her Penobscot roots, and it's exactly 50-50, which is Kat's blood quantum. So it's Penobi.com, everybody, if you want to do that spelling one more time, dear.
PENOBI.
That's easy. Penobi.com.
Penobi.
I want to get a hold of a bunch of your jewelry for Christmas this year. For my mom, for my sister, for my niece, for everybody I know, because I know you'll give me a good deal. So let's talk after the show. Our theme for this, every year we have a theme for the Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle, Kat. This is our 6th year running the show. So this year our play with word is COMM, COMM, capitals, small caps, UNITY, community. Community. So we always ask everybody at the end of the show, before we go to our commercial break, what's your idea of community in 15, 20 seconds?
Oh, community is people that get together and help one another, make sure that they're safe, that they're well, look after the elders, just to know each other and know that you're not alone, and work together to keep your island going.
Ah, your universe, Kat. That's your universe now.
Yes.
Right here. We love you, Kat. Thank you for joining us. I am going to have you and me come off so Elena can come on, and then we're going to invite our guests to come on and say hi to you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Tash and Kat. Kat, you're most welcome to stay there. You're like a freaking archive of history and just hearing your story, but more the genealogy and ancestry of your lineages, and then just hearing your wonderful adventures in life and the beautiful creativity that you've done. Well, thank you so much, Kat, for sharing that. And everyone on, this is the time of what happens in this Wisdom Circle. So thank you everyone for blessing us. We started out on the 1st of April 2020 to gather our community during COVID, and we were beaming out twice a week. We now have, oh, thank you for that. It was a different website that I had. I'm so glad you've got the correct one. We've got same time, same place, same channel. Wednesday the 17th of June is the beautiful Dr. Lila June Johnson, otherwise known as Lila June, who will be here. Lila June is Dene and is a poet, musician, and scholar who bridges Indigenous wisdom, ecology, healing, and the knowledge of pre-colonial food systems across Turtle Island. We're also very excited because we have Njoni Redman, who will be hosting Lila June. Njoni is a Dartmouth graduate and also an MA candidate in the Cultural Administration at IAIA, the Institute of American Indian Arts. Currently, she's exploring how Indigenous knowledge and sovereignty can shape the future of AI. So a lot of the conversations of what Njoni has been working towards with Dr. Lila June is towards AI and how that looks with indigeneity and indigenous. So if that sounds really fascinating to you, please bookmark that in, because we'd love to see you there, and it is going to be flipping fabulous. Now, if you want to see Kat again, which we know you do, if you go to our website, IndigenousWays.org, in the video library you'll see over 200 presenters, including Kat, whose video will be available in the next 72 hours. So please share that with your friends and peeps. And then below me is all of our social media. If you're a wonderful social media fiend, please like or subscribe us and share us out. And then thanks to the City of Santa Fe Arts and Culture Department, and also the National Endowments of the Arts. As you know, it is the big 250, and as you know, as Indigenous people, and also from where you're from, we've been here more than 250 years. However, we're very grateful for their sponsorship, our board members who are on live at this moment, and also our donors making all of our programs, including the Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle, free. So very grateful to that. And if you want to or able to donate, here is the snail mail. We have P.O. Box 4073, Santa Fe, New Mexico 87502. We also have PayPal and Venmo, and at our website IndigenousWays.org, there you'll see a wonderful donate button as we do this collectively. As you'll notice, we have the beautiful Mariah, one of our ASL interpreters. You saw them just do the switch. The other wonderful person was Sherry Hicks. Very grateful to having accessibility of that and free, so everyone is able to do this. And on that wonderful note, I'm going to invite Tash to come back. And also, too, I have opened up the channels. So if you're not too savvy to this format, we'll spend the last 10 minutes saying hi to Kat. And where you go on, if you're on a laptop or computer, there's 3 little ellipses up the top, and if you click that, you can turn your camera on. I'm going to go in the backhand. Tash, while I'm doing that, what would you like to say?
I would like to say, I feel like crying. I'm so happy, Kat, because I just think that you're so exquisite, Kat. Always have been. And I remember when I met you in 1987 when I was just a teeny bopper. And when I saw you walk in the building with your black beret and your style, like you were coming off a yacht, I said, I hope she's my teacher, only to find out you were a student. And we were on a ride to the reservation that first weekend together. So thank you, Kat, for joining us. We've got your story. We're going to archive this for 7 generations into the future. Let's start with our friend Candy Jones from New York.
Hello, greetings. That was a lovely presentation from the Adirondacks. I'm calling.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. As nervous as hell.
Well, you didn't show it, and your artistry is magical.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing very well in the North Country, and I'm grateful for the global warming, although this winter was very cold. And I know a bit about hunting now, and I know a lot about firewood collection and harvesting. And so I could really understand more about what your culture has been doing for many, many moons, because I live in wilderness, and it's a very different kind of a existence. It's very beautiful, but it's rugged.
Yes, it is.
It's quite rugged. So
Well,
thanks for asking.
It's such a blessing to see you, Candy. I love you. I miss you so
I
much.
love you too. I miss you too.
Let's go to Arletta. Hi, Arletta. Thank you for joining. Do you remember Kat?
I forgot. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
I brought her to the reservation several times and always went to your home and your land. And we cooked out and had a lot of fun. And you both have been a part of my life for many, many years. So yeah, you remember Kat. This is the way we used to look a long time ago.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Kat. I just didn't recognize your face. Yes.
Yeah.
That you were just so young and beautiful. Yes. Hello.
And now I'm old.
Yeah.
Same as me. I'm old too.
Yes.
I'll this is Tasha's voice. I'll catch you both up on each other's lives very soon, because I know you both have a connection. Let's go to Missy. Hey, Missy, would you like to talk? And then we'll go to Hallie.
Yes, I would love to say hello to Kat. And Kat, you do, hello. Yes, you do bring a very special spirit with you, and I can feel your rich culture and history and creativity, and also your bountiful energy. You have a vibrancy, just a vibrancy about you, and that I really appreciate and enjoy. And I do want to visit you in Maine. So how hard is it to get across that bridge? Do I need a boat? Can I come across, and is it an actual bridge that I can drive across?
Well, we actually got a new bridge, and the Indians here call it the Hollywood Bridge, because it's got lights and everything. It's a 2-lane road.
That sounds wonderful. Oh wow. Okay. That's on my list to visit.
Yes.
And I will let you know when I'm coming out that way. And
Sure.
and I'll get to say hi to you on your native land, because you've been to our native land, and I want to see your native land too.
Okay. It's a
Missy
day.
will do it, Kat. Missy will do it. Hallie, thank you for
Yeah,
joining us.
Hallie.
I hope you
Yeah.
enjoyed the show.
Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah. Kat, you describe your life as just this kind of matter of fact way. And then I did this, and then I was on this boat, and then and all your family. It was just absolutely fascinating. And I loved it when you said that you were an elder of the Penobscot tribe, because I'm working on owning my elderhood. So the way you just said it, just like that, was really wonderful. Thank you.
Good, and I hope you find it, because it is fun being an elder.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's fun? Tell me what's fun about it.
People tend to be nicer, and the kids enjoy you. I shouldn't be saying so often, but people look at you and they respect you a little more. They get out of your way if you're in a rush. They push you to the front of the line sometimes.
Ooh, yeah.
All sorts of fun things.
That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Mind you, Hallie, she is living on an Indian reservation, so
I am well
elders are
aware of
highly
that.
respected.
Yeah.
Elders are like everything.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we're working on it.
Yeah, well, you look beautiful, Hallie, and
Thank you, dear.
hope to catch up. Kat, Hallie lives in north of San Francisco, close to the Redwoods. Is that where you are? Yeah.
Right near Muir Woods, which they say, the redwoods there are only 800 years old, because most redwoods are a couple thousand years old. But these ones are only 800 because something happened 800 years ago, and nobody knows what happened to the previous redwoods.
Wow. Now, see, I'm headed up to Arcata.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, yes. I have a 2-week vacation going on up there with a very dear friend. And we're going to be camping in an ancient redwood campground.
Wonderful. Okay, now, so I was just camping up in Washington State near the Canadian border, and I've decided that, and somebody said to me last night, camping is not for elders because it's a little hard on the body, but I'm a little older than you are, I think. But so you're going camping and you feel like you can do that.
I do. Well, here's where being the elder counts. They put up my tent. They make sure I have a nice air mattress. I have an alpine sleeping bag, and breakfast is served every day, and there's no cooking. And then when it's time to leave, they take it all down for me.
Oh, my God. That's better than 5-star hotels, Kat.
That's right.
All right. Well, some really special people are on tonight. This is a very tiny, intimate circle with Candy Jones, who is I just love Candy. Candy, thank you for being here. Kat, Arletta, oh my God, Arletta, I love you. I miss you. Arletta. Come to Santa Fe for Indian Market. And Sherry's going to be here for Indian Market, Arletta. So we're flying her in from California. So Sherry will be here in August. So make sure you come. Yeah, definitely. Everybody, if you don't know, Arletta taught me sign language when I was 11 years old. She's here. So a lot of this wisdom circle stuff, it's kind of from her influence, from me seeing what Indians that were deaf went through on the reservation without the access. So I said, if we do anything, it's really for Arletta. And then everyone else is welcome. So thank you, Arletta, this is all for you. Really, seriously. I mean, you don't believe me, it's true.
I remember driving
I miss
up.
you too.
We'll see you soon.
I remember driving up Arletta's driveway in the winter with snow, and I thought for sure you were going to get stuck. And you didn't. You went slow, and then Arletta wasn't there.
Yeah, well, the other time she was there, so that
Yes,
was
she
good.
was.
Yeah,
She was.
Anyways, we won't get into that history. Let's
So,
end the show.
Tash, on that great note, we're going to look forward to seeing you this time next week, next month, so the third Wednesday, which is June the 17th, with the beautiful Lila June, hosted by Najoni Redman. We want to thank our beautiful interpreters, Mariah and Sherry, each of you for blessing us in this live version, or if you're watching the video, thanks for taking the time. But for now, let's give it up for the one and only amazing Captain Nelson!
Cat, you're a star forever.
Let's hear your new song. Let it go. Let it be. Let it roll. Let's hear your new song.